In the beginning, there is nothing. No matter, no energy, not even empty space, because space itself doesn't exist. No time passes, because there's no such thing as time. From nowhere appears a fireball smaller than an atom. 10 trillion times hotter than the core of the sun. Everything that will become the universe explodes from a point millions of times smaller than a pinprick. Time begins. In 1 second, the blueprint for the entire cosmos is written. How it happened is the biggest mystery of all. Professor Lawrence Krauss has devoted his career to studying the first second after the Big Bang.
If we want to really understand our place in the universe, we have to go back to the very beginning and understand how it all came together.
Looking back to the instant of creation is a new idea. The theory of the Big Bang is widely accepted, but the concept is less than a century old.
But one of the things we have to put in perspective is how recent our understanding of the universe is. 80 years ago, the conventional wisdom in science was that the universe was static and eternal, had been around forever.
But this changes in 1929. At California's Mount Wilson Observatory, Edwin Hubble studies the light from galaxies. He observes that the farther the galaxy, the longer the wavelength of light it emits. Light waves stretch the more they travel, and stretching changes their wavelength. The same principle applies to sound waves. As a train approaches, the whistle's pitch rises. When it passes, the pitch lowers. As the train recedes, each sound wave has to travel farther than the last to reach your ear. The sound waves stretch, lowering the pitch. Something similar happens with light waves. If a galaxy is moving away from us, its light waves stretch, becoming longer and redder. It's called red shifting.
When we look at visible light, there's red at one end of the spectrum and blue at the other. Red radiation is the long wavelength radiation of visible light, whereas blue radiation is the short wavelengths. And as we look at the universe, we see the radiation from distant stars literally stretching so that the light gets redder. And the farther away we look, the redder the light is.
Galaxies around us have shifted to this red light.
We look out in all directions at distant galaxies. They're all moving away from us.
Nearly all galaxies are receding at 1,000,000 miles an hour. If galaxies are speeding away from each other, at some point, they must have all been together. The universe is expanding outward from a single point. It's the first evidence that the universe had a beginning. Hubble's findings lead to a radical concept: the Big Bang Theory.